Yeah. No, I know. We're almost there. Shut up, hold on. We made it, Willem. All the way out here to Japan-only GameCube Games Beach Resort. Inside of a PS2 game. Also... What's this guy look like he peed his pants? No, I mean, who wouldn't? If you were a legend of golfer, who's to stop you from just shitting and pissing all over the place? The caddy? No. Mario? Absolutely not. This, what the heck is going on? This rat here, hidden in the alleyway in New Donk City, he might have a chance. But that would be it in terms of competition for this Legend of Japan-only GameCube game, of which there are not many. I found that Smash-type thing hidden behind some drinks at the Tiki Bar. And whatever Homeland is on the New Donk Goof, but I don't care. But ooh, look at what fell out of the coconut tree. Wow, it's Giftpia. Once upon a time, the team that had made Super Mario RPG largely left Square to found a studio of their very own, dubbed Love the Lick. These were, at the time, hella young people who, like many in the mid-90s, were bustin' and burstin' with inspiration spurred on by all the new technology and were maybe already a bit disillusioned by where their still very short careers had taken them, i.e. grunt work on a few cool, but maybe in some ways a bit box standard SNES Square RPGs like Chrono Trigger or Bahamut Lagoon. Pushing back against and blasting off from said status quo is also what gave us many other cool artsy PS1 release, like the Silver Case, the original Silent Hill, VIP Ribbon, and indeed Love the Lick's very own Moon Remix RPG, which is basically the video game equivalent of a jam session. Just one of those jam sessions where everyone involved got big with other bands later and all the folks in the audience also started important bands of their own. Undertale, Lisa and Yume Nikki, Chibi Robo, Petscop, or the entire Paper Mario series all sprung from the nut that Moon bust and Love the Licked, infiltrating Nintendo's weirder side in time in general, especially GameCube. Thing is, as well, Love the Lick itself eventually broke up with its members forming new studios, all ostensibly carrying on its legacy, its core set of ideals of social commentary, oft by way of deconstructing video game tropes. Gex deconstructed, back into the cum realm. Like in Moon itself, you aren't the hero. You're just some kid cleaning up after him, befriending the cute creatures he RPG murders, and really getting into the nitty-gritty witty the NPCs now turned real, actual, fleshed-out people with real people problems, rather than the side quests and info dispensers they so often still were at the time. Moon also had real-time time and days, too, with event-based, story-driven townages and mappages, and unlocked more as you progressed, sitting at this fun middle ground of JRPG, adventure game, and Metroidvania, kinda like a Shenmue meets Animal Crossing meets Grim Fangini, and being wholly combatless to boot, subsuming that into cute interactions and just so much love and personality, honestly. With hallmarks including anything from the trademark quirky voice mumble to contemporary music-based OSTs like what you're hearing now, ancient sound effects, and blending various art styles, creating a timelessness that puts the focus on the here and now, the being in the moment, the smelling of the roses, as if a smeans to a means, if you know what I smeans. Now, where the sequel studios would go on to make many a differing thing as well, with at least some of the core ideas still intact, like Chibi Robo playing way different but having the commentary, or Contact taking the mixed media thing and running with it for miles. At the onset, they did all just sort of make Moon again, really. Punchline with Tulip being romance classism Moon, Vanpool's Indonesia being big tropical open map exploring homelessness Moon, and Giftpia by Skip being pay off your giant hulking debt because you overslept Moon. Starting us off in the cum dungeon, what Tulip also builds up to, all because your sleepy ass missed out on the coming of age ceremony, and so prison and also massive fine. Again, social commentary. To the point where even your face is censored as part of the punishment. Stripped from thine freedom, stripped from one's personality, all cause of a single oopsie or circumstances not within your control. Now go work, bitch. Work so that you may become an adult. Beginning with the typical ex-con job of picking up rubbish with the ball and chain still attached. To, of course, broken, badly looping music blasting from speakers while the robot cop follows and berates you. This is such much. I love these games. After passing out from exhaustion and more berating though, you get handed a credit card and are sent on your way back home, from which the game opens up for real. Pet the dog. Find items. Eat a lot to not die. Repair some signs. Quietly fish in the town square fountain as the accordion plays away and the screen undulates with the sunny summer heat. Birds birding, butters flying, flowers swaying. And now run back home as the demons consume your soul. And oh god, the food goes rotten as well, and Jesus Christ, does the time ever move fast enough? It is this sort of punished hangout ability that is so very special. Like I said, it's not dissimilar to Animal Crossing, but it's Animal Crossing with teeth. Critical of its nook hook, and not afraid to make you think or feel bad. You see, that cozy fishing will get violently ripped away from you by the robo-pigs and outlawed the very moment after you've used it to earn some dough too. So might as well hang out with the weird old guy at the top of the hill who rejects society, start beating the police, and go on a mushroom trip vision quests to learn that becoming an adult doesn't have to mean cynically suiting the system, and that there's more ways to live a fulfilling life, like by actually helping people out. Which then sorta adds a second main thrust of progress outside of the earning money. Around this system of collecting and donating mushrooms to get hope containers that souls can be trapped into, which then can be used elsewhere to solve a problem for them. By, for example, showing the kid's soul to the dog whose soul is bald to get the ball back to the kid to then get his hope, with of course the cheeky little chase sequence chucked on in there too. Following this, the kid starts causing a ruckus, a nuisance, by kicking the ball against the store, and so the store lady gets mad, and then the construction worker gets involved because he saw it all play out, and so on and so forth. Like I said, turning RPG town NPCs into people and really getting stuck in there. Their daily lives, routines, personalities, problems, wants, and desires, and helping them out. Like, yeah, you're not literally spreading love as in Tulip, nor are you subvertingly reversing a RPG grindfest genocide, but you are learning what it means to be an adult by simply being nice and social and sticking it to the man while you're at it. Sadly, as far as being JP goes, this shit is very objectives-based.
It's tail time!
You get told to what to do or where to go because you're the basic bottom rung bitch and are fetch questing and interacting all over the place, but if you can't read nothing, that ain't always easy. Especially here, as the game is mainly centered around showing people the right items from your inventory by manually having to take them out, sometimes at the right place or time, so you can't really stumble into situations that much. Luckily, there's a text-based translation and a guide which I'll link to in the pinned comment, but no patch or nothing just yet. Though, if my past vids are anything to go by, me talking about it increases the odds of this by about 90%, which truthfully is why I'm doing this. Because, along with the Mother series, the Love the Likes like the likes of Ripened Tingle, Captain Rainbow, and this are by far some of the most unique and interesting Nintendo releases. Dealing with real shit. Adult themes, but not in the blood and titty sense, but in the yo, hey, this actually means something sense. And I know that's not what Nintendo of America liked publishing, hence why most of these releases don't make it out of Japan, and that sucks. As it's ostensibly a whole side of Nintendo's catalog, one as equally as influential as the Mario and Zeldas, that's globally been sort of tucked away. So, maybe this summer you too can pick mushrooms, admire the wee fans at hotel, go to cute little restaurant kitchens, and enjoy a game so perfectly hot and summery as Giftpia. Yeah, I did almost go homeless there last month, but there's a good chance they'll renew my contract by 2 years, so I'm currently on a holiday here to decompress a bit. Oh, I see. Very nice.
ThorHighHeels. ThorHighHeels. You have to play Pool Edge. Pool Edge.
Man, can we get a couple shoutouts in chat for GAMECUBE? These motherfuckers made some shit no one ever heard of in the early 2000s, then lay dormant for the rest of the decade, only to return in 2010 with Wii Party. Thing is, this was actually a real studio at one point, but then they died, kinda, until Nintendo bought them with like investment shenanigans and turned it into a shell of former Hudson employees, upon which it became the Mario Party Smines. But before all that, they did make a game called Pool Edge, and god damn, what a title screen. 8-ball, 9-ball, 8-ball, 9-ball, Belba.
Okay, better not be your off day.
This is the type of game that really makes you thinking now, as it's not your average pool game, by which I mean in between Side Pocket and its low poly babes. And Dokyu Remix Billiards Multiple, it is exactly your average pool game in that there are no average pool games, they're all simply this cool.
Gunt.
And just the feel of this shit, the loud sound designerly force with which these balls get schmacked as they move with blazing speeds is fucking great. And honestly, the atmosphere here is sort of surreal.
Change players.
Like, there's no music, so it's all environmental sounds, but they're so... like here in the bar, it sounds like there's a Dreamcast in the corner reading discs and nothing else.
Change players.
And on the boat, it's just ocean sounds, seagulls, sea, right? But then every so often, the loudest fucking boat horn ever comes in for a cheeky little jump scare.
Change players. Looking good. Disaster. Change players.
There's also this really moody, sunsetty Japanese level with the bell, the pond, and the fucking tulip crows.
Foul. Change players.
It's not all like the hokey, jazzy vibe you usually get from games like this.
Change players.
It is a really simple game though. Hold R and then analog to decide the intensity of stick and then let go of shoulder to stick. The angle you poke at is also adjustable with C, and otherwise it's just the rules of pool, which I didn't know and I'm still not sure I do. But the game kind of figures that likely, so it just tells the player which balls to hit because there's like an order to it, I guess. And outside of that, it just kind of is what it is. There's a challenge mode with objectives, saving now, but no like story mode or nothing, which given the announcer I think really could have gone off. love all the levels either way though, and shit's funny as fuck regardless. This and Legend of Golfer, which also has loads of neat things like the camel screen, pyramid golfin, rain golfin, and pants pissin', really highlight for me how worth it can be to pluck random sports games off of the shelf sometimes. Cause I mean, who knows? Maybe you do find random story modes or unexpected crossovers. Not to mention the bizarre lineage of wild collage box art upheld still by EA today and championed all the way back even on Sega Saturn and PS1 by the likes of Slam Dunk from TV animation, I Love Basketball, or Circuit Pro Bowling looking like a goddamn Red Letter Media thumbnail. It's great. And sure, they won't all be matchstick, but even then, sometimes the sports games are simply the gunt we edged along the way.
Pika-pee.
Hello? You're kind of in the way. You're kind of in the way of the shot. You're in the shot. Hello? Ooh, big man.
All the way back in the Elden year of 2012, I once did a video making fun of videos about Smash Bros. And other such normal Bootsian bullshit, upon which I predicted that the following would occur.
I mean, come on, just admit that you would like to take out your Keyblade and...
I also postulated that Bobobo-bo would be thrown on in there too, which sadly did not happen. Because of this, a crack, a ripple, a distortion in the timeline occurred that has left me forever tortured by Bobobo-lessness. First, I encountered this when I did Japan-only DS games where I knew he'd be in Jump Ultimate whatever, but unlocking I could not manage. I'd also really hoped to see him in Jump Force when I covered that for Mysterious 3D Fighters, thinking that he would be in there only to end up having been hoodwinked and bamboozled by screenshots of a prior game of its kind. Of which there are actually many, it seems, even the DS game being one of them. Series might be too strong of a term for it, but what they all have in common is that they're fighters based on the Shonen Jump magazine. You know that thing where all the anime you know even if you don't know anime comes from? And Bobobo was set up as a parody of them, but also is just kind of one of them, and honestly the most fun I've had with a Shonen Jump show, and I say that with every insult intended to all the other Shonen Jump shows. Anyway, as it goes, the milk machine is strong and unwavering. And so every console has a jump fighter, with the GameCube being no different. This one being called Battle Stadium Dawn, with Dawn standing for Don't Know. Yes, thank you. It is a platformer fighter of the tug variety, meaning that hitting dudes won't life a bar, but what they drop when you do will bar your bar towards them and away from you, tug the bar to win. It also doubles as a super meter, so bar is more power, and yeah, it plays well enough, I guess. The fun chaos of any solid platformer fighter is present, where it's like you're just sort of like casually spamming spirit bombs and exploding the whole stage, because fuck it, why not? Handling has a nice bit of weight to it as well. It's not as floaty or buttery as I often find Smash to feel, though depending on who you're playing as and what I know them to be able to do, has a hefty grounding that makes making sense from and finding place within the party chaos a fuck of a whole lot easier to do. Whoa! Just like Sonic! As it goes, there's no laundry lists of combos. It's mainly very simple direction-based inputs with shits like items and jumps and what have you. If I'd peg one downside, it'd be the sometimes jerky movement, which isn't a problem on any stationary stage, but the second shit goes gimmick mode, it can be a little much. But that just as well can be framed as party chaos fun time. Cause, I mean, it would be pretty fucking stupid if one was to say, try to play this like a competitive fighter, turning all the items off and ignoring most of the game's mechanics and levels just to kinda make it work. That would be stinky, ridiculous, and silly. But compared to the other famous platformer fighter on Cube, Remix TV World Fighter, this one's defo the funner game, I find. See, what I think hurt that one was all the characters largely playing the same. And in Dawn, there's defo a distinct difference in feel between peeps despite the inputs not changing. Goku has his teleporties and fat fists, Luffy has his lunges and extendos and feels a lot bouncier in just how he animates. Chopper has his... looks great too. A lot of detail, movement, color, and lighting in stages. It's not at all a cheap seeming game, despite that they do just sort of factory shitty shits out sometimes. Whoa! Just like Giftpia! That said, we've been combing over this jungle far and wide, and we have yet to find any Bobobo. Wait, he's...
Pikachu?
He's not in the game?
Pika pika.
No! God damn it! Commander! Commander, hello? Commander! We found a full-on Bobobo RPG! A Bobobo RPG? Yes, Commander. For the GameCube as well. Is it Japan only? Yes, sir. You bet, sir. Hey, try calling me sir one more time, little bitch, and I'll fucking kill you. Well. What do we have here? Guess RPG maybe ain't even the right word, or at least it's an RPG in the same way a lot of like GBA games were, where shit's broken up in two very distinct halves. One being of the dialogue-heavy adventuring, telling the tale of the Bobobo gang getting invites for a fun theme park adventure, only we're actually sent back to the cum dungeon again. Like poetry, it rhymes. Filled to the brim with talking, simple puzzles, talking, platformering, and even talking. Essentially providing the setup of what would be a traditional RPG. However, instead of a normal battle system and stats and equipment and level progression, you get whatever the fuck wild thing they thought of instead that then also has its own standalone multiplayer mode away from it all. In many a GBA game, this would be anything from tennis or golf to 2D side-scrolling or just straight up a whole-ass fighting game. And in
Bobobo-bo, Hashutsu, Hachike, Robayaru.
It's so you know like fucking Crash Bash, right? Man, there has to be a better example for this. Which has that minigame with the ice, where the player has to bump their opponents off of the ice island? Well, it's that, really. Bump combat, literally. Ease can get fucked. Party, gamey, and random items will drop on down. You got some special moves. It's total chaos with many people at once, but at its core, it's simple as. Being that, yes, you do mostly just walk into people to nudge them off the edge. And I like it. Quite a lot, actually. Can clear battles and goddamn schmeckens, and the encounter rate is pretty casual to begin with, but it's just so perfectly Bobobo. Thing B, the fighting in the show was always a joke first and foremost. Just a avenue for gags. It wasn't actually like the other Shonen Jump shows. And so, turning the RPG battle system into just this goofy balls, mechanicsless nothingness is genuinely really funny and clever. They really do be the type of game to have no actual consequences for losing, but will have entirely unique fill state cutscenes of crying, pissing, and fleeing, because that comedy gag setup is what Bobobo was all about. Same with the purposefully really obtuse platforming and the fact that the character argumenting expresses itself mechanically by even your party members attacking you directly and using the friendly fire very liberally, to say the least. Like, this ain't bad AI or nothing, they will just fucking go for you. Intentionally. Though it's probably good that it doesn't punish you much at all, because as the game goes on, the playfield will get more crowded, the battles might as well just become complete and total RNG chaos. Shout out to Sonic-ian momentum though. Great traction on sliding and brakes and pushes. It just has the right amount of balance and precarious feels and quick responsiveness to make it all work out for the most part. When one gets right down to it, though, it is just kind of an episode of the show. One that brings back tons of folks from across the series in this island gauntlet across a very literal dungeon, a spooky dark forest, and a lava level, and other things that I think might be kind of poking fun at tropey gamey locations, the way the anime made fun of anime shit. As a result, the runtime is about 80% cutscenes, but they're really cute ones. Again, everyone is here, fully modeled and animated with all the wacky trademark facial expressions intact. Quite the contrast to Dawn, where Luffy just... he's just always like this. Unblinking, unwavering. Though I suppose it beats Jump Force. Anyway, now that I've finally captured a wild Bobobo, I can move on to saying that he doesn't have the only Japan-only RPG on Cube. As while I did shoot Homeland earlier, it is quite legit a interesting Wii game that sadly is very centered around online functionality, which ain't got no more functionality, but look at how cute the graphics are. This little beige house with the little PC-like text boxes and that's as far as I got, really. It's very interface, and I can't read shit, so I never made it out of the room. There's also a Captain Tsubasa, aka Oliveri Benji, aka Tsubusi, aka Captain Tsubasa, the legend of my channel game, which, as most Basa games, is a bona fide foot PG. Made by Konami in the vein of those PS1 releases with the simulation banners like Breeding Stud or Tokimeki. Two sides of the same game coin if I ever saw one. Hey, by the way, y'all ever see that Breeding Stud opening FMV? Like, it shows a lady getting changed and puckering her lips, like, ooh. And then you see all the horny horse hormones being unleashed, and then and then you see her straight up jacking the thing, and then she goes and gets naked and takes a shower, and why is this implying that she's fucking the horse? But, yeah, smoke the PC 98 level UI on this bitch. I can play this for shit, but I love the vibe. I dig the art, the portraits, the cyber hexagons, and the music that can only be described as dating simcore. Finally, while I don't mess with shmups much, Radio Allergy has some pretty dope heckin' box art, and also Radio Allergy is a hard goddamn name. Really cool Jet Set Radio X The World Ends With You-esque style too, with the phone framings and the cell shadings, and while I don't want to interrupt the happy Tsubasa OST to show, it has some really incredible house tunes knocking about too. I suppose if I have to play a shmup, I'm glad it's at least one that looks and sounds this dope. But in either case, that's more or less the JP-only GC library. There's some quiz games and a buttload of baseball games I ain't touching, and it is a little sad Giftpia and the Bobobo releases never made it to English, though I suppose it's never too late, I guess. Besides, I'm glad I got a GameCube vacation out of it all in the end either way.